All right. Good. So this is me recording my trade recap for Friday, 12/5, December 5th, 2025. All right. So we can tell on the higher time frame for the entire market, we can tell that we've been stuck in a range, right? It's not very volatile or trendy. Well, it's trending up, but we're stuck in this range, right? So if I draw the trend line, we're here and here, right? So this is key because over the past 2 weeks, it's been very, very volatile. It's been fluctuating. All right. So what does this mean? Well, on Wednesday and Thursday, I got bagged. The market took my money, right? But it wasn't because I traded SPY. I just took a low probability setup on Tesla when the market was going down. And then this day, notice how it doesn't even break the previous day's levels, right? So if I draw a line here, previous day low, draw another line here, previous day high. Look, the market just stays in this range. And then notice the mean reversion isn't to the EMAs, it's to VWAP. So that's interesting. Something interesting to keep in mind when reviewing range-bound markets. So, alright. Anyways, I trade VWAP and EMAs, the 8 and the 20. That's part of my system. And then what I'll do sometimes to manage my trades is to look at level 2 data, so the tape. So right off open on Friday, immediately, we can, not even off open, we can see in the pre-market, so we gapped up overnight, which is very important because it's been, market's been consolidating the past few days. We gap up overnight, they fill the gap. As the gap fills, we get a pivot point. Pivot point here, this is also, whatever you want to call it, it's a tweezer bottom, three candlestick reversal pattern, whatever. Obviously, well, hindsight's 2020, but we can see that this reverses here, and even if you don't know anything, you can see this engulfs the previous candle. So if you come here, pre-market, boom, obvious uptrend, right? So we have this low, and then we have this base here through the entire morning, right? We have this base. So let me show you where I took my entry. I usually like to wait until a level is broken, like the pre-market high or previous day high. But today was not the case. We have this consolidation, and we make a higher high off of this, right? Well, we just make a high, and then we make a low, which is right below the consolidation. After this, we can see, notice the wicks. Notice these wicks. This is also a candlestick pattern. Alright, this shows that buyers are stepping in after a reversion came, mean reversion. Okay, buyers are stepping in, we get this candle. And notice price is starting to now go, it's going to try and make a higher high. Alright, and we get a retest. Well, it's like not a retest, but it's more of a reclaim of the EMA and VWAP. So we get that reclaim off the EMA and the VWAP, and I entered calls right here. And unfortunately, I was not even at my desk. I was trading at school, at college. I was in class, and so I did 0 days. It was Friday. I was doing 0 days, and I exited around this area for like a 30% profit. So I held it for like 6 minutes, but obviously we can see that the trend continues. It's just I couldn't look at my phone, so yeah. Let me also point out that notice here we also get a base structure here. The market's building a base here, and it cuts below the VWAP, right? So it cuts below I didn't catch this other side of the trend on Friday, but this is good to know. So we get the base here, and then it cuts below VWAP, and price is actually, so it comes back up. Price is actually respecting VWAP and the EMAs. And then notice right here, on this candle, we get a double confirmation. We get a double confluence, right? So it respects the VWAP again and the EMA, the 8 EMA, which means we're probably going into a downtrend, and it flags here. So this is where you'd probably be looking for an entry, right here on this candle. And let's say you didn't get the best entry, you can catch it anywhere from here to here, but never catch an entry towards like the, I'm not going to say low of day here because this is low of day, but a local low, right? So never want to try and enter when it's coming down here, and then you, like if you're trading off fear here, and you're like, oh my god, it's just going to keep pushing down, I have to enter here. And then look what price does, it comes back up, and you're probably panicking, and then look at this candle, it comes up a little bit again, probably scares you if you don't know what you're doing, but then it makes a lower low. So if you enter here, if you enter here on 0 days, and you just hold it, you're not going to be at as much drawdown as this candle. And you can just ride it until maybe here, because it stops respecting the, kind of breaks the 8 EMA. But anyways, that's how you could have traded SPY. But this first part is where I took my first trade, and then my second trade was on hood. So let me show you why. Previous day low is right here. Pre-market low is here. So obviously I was in class, so I didn't take anything here, and I literally got on my computer at 11 o'clock, like 11 o'clock when I got home. I got on my computer, saw the setup on hood. Now, since it's later in the day, 11 o'clock, I was not on the 3-minute time frame. I was on the 10-minute. And then look at this. All right, so this is the reversal pattern. And then price reclaims again. Look at this flag. As soon as I got home and saw this, I'm telling you, I spammed. Yeah, I spammed puts until low of day. I spammed them here. I could have held, and I know it didn't break, but I was watching the tape, and I saw sellers coming in here, and options, especially 0 days. That day was a 0 day. So this is going to be huge drawdown. I'm not sitting there. I should have left runner until here. But yeah, that was kind of my trade. I took all my profits here, or here, because I was watching level 2, so I saw the buyers stepping in a little bit. But yeah, it's always nice to leave a runner, because then you can have a move like this, and you can't really like predict anything. So you never know if it can go lower or higher. That's why it's good to leave a runner. So I will remember that next time. Next time I trade. Alright. Anyways, those were my trades for Friday. And yeah, I hope it made sense. And just to reiterate, we can tell, just like on the SPY chart, we had a general push in a certain direction, and then we had kind of, sorry, not on the SPY chart, but just to analyze this further, we had a push down, reverses here, builds a base here. So after it finishes building this base, where you'd want to get in, if you're looking at the 10 minute, it's kind of cleaner. Where you'd want to get in is when it starts to break out of here. Right, so notice the bodies of these candles are here, and then this one ends up here. Okay, so this candle closes at 11, so we can look at the smaller time frame even. If you wanted to look at the smaller time frame at 11, so this closed at 11, and then you see it still respects the 8 EMA, so here or here could have been ideal if you were looking at a smaller time frame, and then held it to the lows. And yeah. So that was my trade recap. I wasn't really going off of emotion today, or that day. The second trade hit my target. The first trade, well, I sold it high of day, but I was in class. I need to not do that as much. So yeah, this day wasn't too bad. Like, I took way less trades than I usually do on this day, but also I had a school thing going on. And what I've been incorporating since earlier this week is more VWAP analysis, because it's more of a range bound. Like, it's easier to look at when markets range bound. And I've been looking at level 2. Just been trying to read it better, because it actually is very helpful. It showed me when buyers were picking up here, and I got a pretty darn good exit. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll probably be posting more, and I'll go deeper into my strategy as time goes on.